There's a difference between a disagreement and a detonation. What happened on that Indiana Fever sideline on May 31st against the Portland Fire wasn't two competitors bumping heads. It was a pressure cooker that had been building for months.
It's getting really weird now. It's weird, it's strange, it's stupid.
Finally blowing its lid off on national television. Caitlin Clark and head coach Stephanie White got into it during a timeout. Not a whisper, not a side eye, a full-blown, visible, caught on every camera confrontation. White screamed.
The fact that Stephanie White refuses to credit Caitlin Clark, especially in front of the team, like she already didn't want to give her no credit for the game winner versus the Washington Mystics when she bailed her out.
Screamed. Clark threw her hands up, and then just like that, White pulled her, told rookie Raven Johnson to take her seat, benched the most important player in the entire league in the middle of a game they were winning. And what happened next?
Not a single word about Caitlin Clark, 30-point double-double with 7 rebounds to go along with it. Not a single word.
Indiana collapsed. By the end of the first quarter, Portland had flipped the script entirely. The Fever went from leading to being down 29-15. Clark finished the night with a season-worst -8 rating, 6 points, 6 assists, 22 minutes. A stat line that doesn't tell you what happened, it tells you what was done to her. But this didn't start in Portland, not even close. Rewind to 2025. Caitlin Clark's season was a nightmare. A right groin sprain, a left quad issue, a left ankle bone bruise. She played just 13 games, 13. Meanwhile, the Fever went 24-20 and pushed the Las Vegas Aces to 5 games in the playoffs without her. The offseason was supposed to be the reset. Clark came back healthy, represented Team USA at the FIBA Women's World Cup qualifiers, went 5-0, and took home MVP honors. She looked unstoppable. The narrative was set. The Fever, with a fully loaded Caitlin Clark, were going to be title contenders in 2026. And early on, the numbers backed it up. Clark came into this season averaging 23.8 points, 9 assists, and 4.4 rebounds and 43% shooting. Those aren't just good numbers. Those are franchise-defining numbers. The kind of numbers that should make a coaching staff build every single thing around the player producing them. But that's not what happened, and the signs were there from the jump if you were paying attention. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Game after game, a strange routine started forming around Stephanie White's press conferences. She'd get to the podium, run through who played well, highlight contributions, shout out names, and somehow, consistently, Caitlin Clark's name would get left out. Not once, not twice, over and over again. One game stood out more than any other. Clark dropped a 30-point double-double with 7 rebounds, saved the game, laid out the entire roster. And White got to the microphone and talked about team camaraderie, talked about paint points, talked about second chance opportunities.
Now watch when she starts giving individual credit. Let me know if y'all hear Caitlin Clark's name.
In that fourth quarter and those runs, the way that we came together going into overtime, coming together and finishing this game.
Opportunities. And then she mentioned Kelsey Mitchell by name, called it a quiet 19. A quiet 19. Meanwhile, Clark had just gone nuclear and her name didn't even come up. That's not forgetting someone. That's editing them out of the story on purpose. And it wasn't just the podium. Late in a close game, Clark was 11 for 11 from the free throw line. Automatic. Open, ready. The smart play, the obvious play, was to get her the ball. Instead, it went to Mitchell. Mitchell fumbled it. The lead shrank. And Clark had to come back in and clean up the mess she shouldn't have had to clean up.
Caitlin Clark is 11 of 11 from the free throw line. All you had to do was inbound the ball to Caitlin Clark. She was open. She makes the free throws. Game is over.
In the first place, rumors started swirling that White wanted to build around Mitchell, not Clark. And honestly, watch the play calls. Watch the press conferences. It's hard to argue otherwise. Now here's the part most people dance around. Kelsey Mitchell isn't a villain. She's a talented player who had the best statistical season of her career playing alongside Clark in 2024, 19.2 points per game, 46.8% from the
You can build a team around that. And certainly then you add in Kelsey, who had already been here, and she had a quiet 19, right?
field, 40.2% from 3. Clark made Mitchell better. The numbers don't lie about that. But here's the thing about group dynamics. When you benefit from an arrangement that's hurting someone else, and you say nothing, your silence becomes participation. Every time Mitchell's name got called at the podium while Clark's didn't, she never pushed back. Every time the ball came to her in a clutch moment that should have gone to Clark, she took the shot anyway, and it went further than the court. There was an instance where Mitchell's own sister publicly agreed with a post that appeared to downplay Clark's impact on the team. Small thing, maybe. But in a locker room where trust is already cracking, small things become gasoline. Fans and analysts started connecting dots. Some of those dots were fair. Some were probably a stretch. But when the optics keep piling up in the same direction, at some point, it stops being coincidence. And then Portland happened. And everything that had been whispered became...
See that Caitlin Clark has lost all faith in Stephanie White and her play calling.
Look at it.
She lied to her. She checked in the game as the same play.
became impossible to ignore. After Portland, the Fever did something teams only do when things are genuinely falling apart. They held a secret team meeting, not a quick huddle, not a casual check-in. Reports say they were behind those doors for nearly 2 hours. Sophie Cunningham accidentally let it slip to the media, said the team needed to peel back the layers. When reporters brought it up to Mitchell, you could see the surprise on her face. She had no idea Cunningham had already talked about it. Mitchell tried to smooth it over. Said it was about being a family, and that if you think everything is glitz and glamour, then you're mistaken. She added that the team's culture was being tested. Clark, she was even more direct, told reporters flat out, "I don't really know why we're still on this." She didn't confirm the drama. She didn't deny it either. She just made it clear she was tired of talking about it. White followed the same script, told the media her relationship with Clark was great, said she rides with her. And then the cameras caught them hugging after a win over the Atlanta Dream, and for a moment, people thought maybe it was all overblown. But here's the thing about damage control. It only works if the damage...
Caitlin Clark, look at her face. She's lost all hope, all faith in Stephanie White. She said no. You know the play. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this.
actually stops. The Fever are 8-5 right now, third in the Eastern Conference. On paper, things look fine. But underneath that record, there are fractures that no win-loss column can hide. Since the Portland incident, Clark's shooting has dipped to 32.3% from the field. That's not a slump. That's a player whose rhythm has been disrupted, whose trust in the system around her is visibly shaken. You can see it in her body language. You can see it in the way she hesitates half a second longer before making reads she used to make on instinct. And the biggest question still hasn't been answered. Is Stephanie White building this team around Caitlin Clark or around Kelsey Mitchell? Because those are two very different blueprints. And right now, based on everything we've seen, the play calls, the press conferences, the building around her comments, it's starting to look like White chose the wrong blueprint. Sports history doesn't forgive that. Every franchise that had a generational talent and failed to build around them became a cautionary tale. Every coach who let ego or loyalty to a veteran override common sense ended up watching that generational talent thrive somewhere else. Clark is 22 years old. She's putting up numbers that redefine what a guard in this league can do. She fills arenas. She moves ratings. She changes the entire economic landscape of the WNBA. And she has now shown publicly on camera in front of the entire world that she is willing to draw a line. That's not drama. That's a player who knows exactly what she's worth and is no longer willing to pretend that being undervalued is acceptable. The Fever have a choice to make, and they need to make it soon, because Caitlin Clark has already made hers.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.